You'd think Social Security would be pretty straightforward, right? But for couples, oh man, it is a whole different ballgame. It's like a strategic puzzle, and there are literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line. One wrong move? It could cost you big time. So in this explainer, we're going to put all those pieces together and give you a clear, simple guide to making the absolute best decisions for your retirement.
And it all kicks off with a question just like this one. This came from a pre-retiree named Rob. He's on the verge of making a massive decision, and he's running right into a super common point of confusion. His question? It gets right to the heart of what so many couples get wrong.
So what about you? Do you know the answer to Rob's question? Because honestly, getting this right, or getting it wrong, can totally change your retirement income for decades to come. This isn't just some trivia question, we're talking about your financial security here. Rob's uncertainty, it's really rooted in one of the most expensive misunderstandings out there when it comes to Social Security: how a spousal benefit actually gets calculated when one person decides to claim early. So what's the answer for Rob? It's a big, loud, clear no. His wife's spousal benefit is not, I repeat, not tied to the smaller, reduced amount he'd get at 62. Instead, it's anchored to his benefit at his full retirement age. That magic number is called the primary insurance amount, or PIA. It doesn't matter if he claims early or late, her potential benefit is always calculated based on that full, unreduced number. That's a huge deal. And that brings us to what is probably the most important mental shift you can possibly make. You've got to stop thinking of Social Security as some kind of solo mission. For couples, it is a team sport, and every single move you make affects your teammate. And you can see the two mindsets laid out right here. Over on the left, it's all about I and my. When should I claim? That's how most of us think by default. But the winning strategy, the one you see on the right, is all about we and our. It's about maximizing your lifetime income as a couple. You start treating Social Security like a shared family asset, which is exactly what it is. Now let's dig into how the spousal benefit is actually paid, because it's not what most people assume. It's not like you get a separate check in the mail. Instead, the Social Security Administration uses what's called a top-up system. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so let's imagine the lower earning spouse has worked enough to earn their own Social Security benefit. In our example, let's just say that benefit is $600 a month. Now, let's say the higher earning spouse has a full retirement benefit of $2,000 a month. That means the maximum spousal benefit available to their partner is half of that, which comes out to $1,000. And this right here, this is the key. The SSA doesn't make you choose one or the other. What they do is they automatically pay your own earned benefit first. Then they add a little extra on top. That's the top-up, to bring your total payment up to that higher spousal benefit amount. So the math ends up being pretty simple. You get your $600 plus an excess spousal payment of $400 for a grand total of $1,000 a month, and it all shows up in one combined payment. Understanding this top-up system is, a really critical piece of the puzzle when you're trying to plan your strategy. All right, the next really critical thing to get straight is the difference between spousal benefits and survivor benefits. Yeah, they sound kind of similar, but trust me, they work in completely different ways. And getting this right is absolutely essential for protecting the spouse who lives longer. So a spousal benefit, that's what we've been talking about so far. It's for when both of you are still alive. The key number to remember here is that it's capped at 50% of the higher earner's full retirement age amount. A survivor benefit, on the other hand, is totally different. This kicks in for the surviving spouse after one partner passes away. And just look at that number. It can be up to 100% of the actual benefit the deceased spouse was getting. This means the claiming decision of the higher earner directly sets the income for their surviving partner, potentially for the rest of their life. This table just makes the comparison so clear. First, check out the max payout. 50% for spousal, but up to 100% for survivor. Big difference. The claiming ages are a little different too, but the most important line, the real game changer, is the last one. Delaying your claim past your full retirement age does absolutely nothing to increase the spousal benefit, but it makes a huge difference for the survivor benefit. That right there is the key to a smart couple strategy. And this leads us right into what I call the timing trap. The decision of when the higher earner claims is without a doubt one of the most impactful financial choices a couple can make. And the numbers, well, they're just staggering. Let's just look at this. If your full retirement benefit is, say, $2,000 a month, claiming at 62 permanently slashes it down to $1,400. But if you can just wait until age 70, it grows to $2,480. That is a 77% increase from the earliest age to the latest. And remember, this isn't just about your benefit, it's about the benefit your surviving spouse is going to inherit.
So the big takeaway here is that claiming early creates this domino effect. It's not just about you getting a smaller check. You are also potentially locking in a much smaller survivor benefit for your partner, which could really impact their financial well-being for decades after you're gone. Okay, now for a really critical heads up. The rulebook for all these strategies has changed. Some of those clever loopholes you might have heard about from older relatives or read about in old articles, well, for most of us, they're gone. And using old advice can be a really dangerous trap. This timeline shows you exactly what happened. Back in 2015, Congress got rid of a couple of really popular strategies called file and suspend and restricted application. The key thing you need to know today is that unless you were born on or before January 1st, 1954, these strategies are off the table for you. For the huge majority of people retiring now, these loopholes are closed. So after all that, how do you actually make a decision? Well, it all starts by asking the right questions. So here's a simple little framework to help guide that really important conversation with your partner. Here they are, the 3 questions every single couple should be asking. Number 1, how do we maximize our total household benefit over our lifetimes, not just one person's? Number 2, how do we make sure our plan protects the surviving spouse? And that almost always means the higher earner waits as long as they can. And number 3, what's our break-even point? For most couples, if at least one of you lives past your early 80s, delaying that bigger benefit is the clear financial winner. At the end of the day, the bottom line is really simple. Creating a coordinated, team-based Social Security plan is the single most powerful financial move you can make as a couple. It's way more important than picking the right stock or timing the market. This decision locks in a guaranteed inflation-adjusted income for the rest of both of your lives. So let me just leave you with this final thought. Over the course of your retirement, your combined Social Security benefits are likely going to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even more. It is a massive financial asset. So the real question is, are you treating it like one? Have you created a thoughtful, joint plan to protect it and get the most out of it?